Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet you all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak, Mark of the Line. So, once again, I feel like I'm going to say this again. Let's get going with this. Today's subject, episode number 733, Volkswagen. Volkswagen is yet another German auto manufacturer out there in the industry that actually has really had a big share of history behind it, especially since its first appearance. But of course, if there's one big thing that I should probably give out right away, it's that Volkswagen used to be a big manufacturer of German military vehicles, specifically the Schwimmwagen and Kubelwagen in the early 1940s. But of course, one particular model happens to stand out from the rest of the crowd, and it ultimately became a big sensation, especially for World War II personnel and also towards civilian groupings in Germany. The Beetle. Starting in the late 30s, the Volkswagen Beetle became a big, hot-selling, small vehicle for anyone of any sorts. And as a matter of fact, looking at how big the Beetle has already gotten these days, it kind of makes you wonder, how did it become so successful? Well, the thing is, it had a unique body shape, which pretty much gave it its name, ultimately referring to an actual beetle. Ergo, that's where the name Beetle comes from. So of course, that's how the Beetle, well, for one, it became very unique and very well known instantly because of this exact sort of design scheme and cue that would eventually spark a lot of popularity within its own right. It got so many sales in the first couple decades, and it even became the star of its own Disney movie series, known as the Herbie series or the Love Bug series, in which there's a 1963 model Volkswagen Beetle with a unique red, white, and blue stripes and the number 53 slapped on the sides. The good old Herbie has been with us for a long time. But of course, we can't always forget the fact that the Beetle actually became, well, discontinued by the end of the 1970s, but then starting about 20 years later in the mid to late 90s, the Beetle would make a bit of a resurgence in an effort to attempt to get some more profits. Unfortunately, that would not necessarily work too good either, and this would be yet another period in time where the Beetle would be discontinued until it would be brought back yet again just a few years later. But even to this very day, the latest addition to the Beetle itself certainly is not necessarily the greatest in the world. It looks amazing, pretty much, paying a complete total homage to its original counterpart from 1938, but as a matter of fact, the Beetle is not necessarily holding out too well, and there's a good chance that its discontinuation might become apparent again. And as a result of that, we might not ever see the Beetle again. That is, of course, unless someone does decide to bring it back again, which would mean that this is its fourth outing so far. The Beetle had been manufactured constantly between 1939 and 1979, and then, of course, in 1998 to 2002, and then around, well, 2012 for the latest edition of the Beetle, and then up until, well, some time ago, where the Beetle is not necessarily included as part of Volkswagen's catalog, at least not for the moment. This could indicate the fact that the Beetle might be out of commission yet again, but who even knows? If someone does decide to bring back the Beetle, then well, it's probably up to them. As for Volkswagen's many other models though, judging by what we got currently, we have ourselves the Passat, the CC, the Jetta, Tiguan, as well as various other models here and there. But we also can't forget the many other models that Volkswagen gave to us, including the Type 181, which is sort of like a bit of a convertible rooftop sort of thing, the Sunagon, and then of course there was the Samba bus, Yeah, that's another vehicle out there that Volkswagen has been very well known for. Whether it's been used by counterculture, or of course it happened to be used in most ways because of the unique lifestyle that some people typically have. The original Volkswagen bus was certainly one of a kind. It was practically the next best thing in comparison to the Beetle. It was not necessarily the greatest or top of its class, but man, it sure is popular. Even to this day, you probably can't go too far without noticing that at some point in time, there is an old Volkswagen bus out there on the roads. Maybe not all the time. So of course, that's just pretty much how all that stuff is with Volkswagen. And I could be here all day talking about various other models as well, including the Karmann Ghia, the Brasilia, the SP2, and then of course you got yourself various other models that span from other generations, but were very unique and memorable for their time period, and also because of the many quirks, features, and performance cues that were pretty much there at the time. So the thing is, Volkswagen is still beloved by a lot of people. I myself am not necessarily a big fan of it, but man, I sure find a lot of interest in the classic Beetle, plus many other models pretty much. So the big thing is, well, Volkswagen's probably going to stick around for a very long time. In spite of how long it's been around for already, it still is very well remembered, by all means. Even though the Beetle and the original Samba bus are pretty much out at this point, there actually are talks of a new version of the Volkswagen bus that might actually be coming pretty soon, so I guess we'll take a look out for that. And Volkswagen is also introducing some other new concepts out there that might go to show that they might have a big chance of dominating this entire decade. Who knows? The 2020s might be a debatable thing. As soon as we get through the worst year ever in existence, 2021, then I guess we'll see what happens then, going forward. But that's pretty much that for right now. But stay tuned for a couple other German marques that I will also be talking about. And if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.